Hey guys, Landon here. I'm going to show you a little workflow for the Emlid RS4 PRO. So this first video we have here is just connecting to the Emlid Flow app, getting that connection established through the Wi-Fi, checking our status, and then checking to make sure our Ntrip connection is good, checking to make sure our Wi-Fi is on the same for the phone and for the reach, and then adding a new project under the Survey tab. So we're going to label this one Test 1. This is a good location to put in as much description as you can. That's what these text boxes are for. So the more data that you have, the better off you are. You don't want to have a point or a project that you click on and can't recall what it's for. You also want to take the time to check your datum and your settings before hitting save. And then it brings you into the project. And from this point, you're good to go. So once we're in our project, there's a few things that we can look at as far as button wise. We've got our tools icon, our objects icon, which it's empty right now because we just created this project. We have our map layers, our zoom buttons, and then our location, as well as our add point button. So getting started here on this test project, we're going to try to attempt to do a collection with the AR mode. We'll check our settings, make sure our pole height is set correctly. We're going to choose a code from the code library that fits what we're trying to mark. So we have that description for recollection on the back end. For this one, we're going to name it a column because that's what we're marking on the porch. We're going to hit that little camera icon and the white circle with the plus. Brings up this frame to where we can capture an object. We're going to do a short video with the object that we want to capture inside of the blue bounding box. And this can be up to a minute long, but it by no means needs to be that long. 10 seconds is usually pretty good. It's going to process the scene. We're going to measure the point. Gives you a little crosshair icon. You can zoom in the photo. Once you get it there, make sure you hit this measure point. That way it actually takes it into account, and then check through your photos by scrolling here. If everything looks good, you can hit the verify position. If you need to adjust it a little bit, just hit that adjust position button. We're going to name it. As I said before, more information is better. For demonstration purposes, we're just going to name this one column 1. And it's saved on our map. We're going to click back on the map icon to bring up the whole project. We're going to go back into our code library. Make sure everything's still good. As you can see, it auto-populated column 2, which is good. We're going to measure the second column using the monopod, the survey pole. Please note that we're averaging for 5 seconds. Longer would be better. I recommend at least 5. And we're going to choose a different code just because we're wanting to use something else to reference an actual benchmark. So let's use this found disk. And we'll actually name this benchmark so we know how to reference it. Again, averaging for 5 seconds. Feel free to add a point photo. That's also helpful on the back end. And we're going to do some additional points in a grid for elevation. We're going to use the earth code, and we'll label the first one grid 1, and then the software will automatically numerically order them in order. order. So you'll notice after this one clicks, it'll go from grid 1 to grid 2. So our next one will be labeled grid 2. We're going to move over a little bit. As you can tell here, I went from a fixed solution to a single. I've got it marked in the settings to where it won't collect unless it's in a fixed solution. This isn't a big scary thing or nothing like that. Losing that fixed solution typically occurs when you lose cellular connection, and in this case I got too far from the actual Wi-Fi modem and needed to get a little closer to regain that connection, and then there we go. So we're going to mark a couple of these just to get an elevation idea of the area that we're working in. Now we're going to mark another point. I'm looking for a tree for the specific workflow so we can do some triangulation methods and get some good reference data off of that static point. So we'll mark this one as a tree. Feel free to add that point photo as well for reference in the back end. We're going to go to our Tools tab. We're going to hit Inverse. Now you can do a couple things here. You can either select the points on the map, like it says, just tap on the map, or you can go to your list and select them from there. So if you've got a bunch of different collection points, but you have them all named very well and organized, then you can select them from the list opposed to selecting them on the map. We're just going to select them on the map here. So we got the benchmark, the column 1, and the tree, and then we get all of our information pertaining to those, as well as the point-to-point information, our direction, slope, 2D distance, height difference, grade, and our delta factors. And we can switch here using the scroll bar to get those different X, Y, and Z values. And that's that. So now let's look at the Emlid Flow 360 web. So here's a list of our projects. This is the project that we were just looking at. We're going to zoom in to look at it. And we're going to go ahead and change our map view just to make it more pleasant. I'm going to change it to satellite. So here's our tree, and here's our benchmark that we were referencing. You can also do the inverse tools here. And by the same way, you can either tap them on the map or you can select them from the list on the left-hand side. Let's just tap them on the map. So now we have our triangulation as well as all the information that we saw on the app now on the web platform. So this point to point is going from the benchmark to column 1, this line here. This one is going from column 1 to the tree, this line here. And this is the column 1 to the tree, benchmark to the column 1 to the tree. Now if we want the other one, we can simply reorganize to get a full factor. And if we wanted to do a closed line, we could get it all in one. But just keep that in mind. If you're having trouble finding one of these values, just simply click and drag with the slider bars over here to get that value. So if we want this right-hand eastern side from the benchmark to the tree, just slide that up, and there we have it, point to point, benchmark to the tree with all of those values as well. And there you have it.